A young man I knew was almost going crazy. 2 degrees, 1 bachelor's degree, 1 master's degree, over 1,000 application letters written by himself and submitted, yet no job after 3 years of searching seriously. And he thought the world was against him. As a matter of fact, it's not the world against him, it's a lot of factors against all of those who are looking for a job. Why is it very hard these days to get a job, especially in 2024? There are at least 3 reasons I know that jobs are getting tougher to find if you are anywhere else in the world. But if you are in Nigeria, there are at least 4 reasons that I know of that make job search very hard as compared to what happened in the past. But the good news is that there are at least 4 other leverages you can actually use to get out of this mess if you find yourself there. So what are the 4 reasons that make it hard to find your desired job today, and what are the 4 leverages that you can take advantage of to ensure that you are out of the woods? I will talk about all of them in this video. Hey, my name is Ayo Jimmy. Welcome to my channel. Please help me grow by subscribing and hitting that bell button right now. Let's do it right now. The number 1 reason it's so hard to get a job these days is the skill gap that exists between what you have to offer as a graduate and what the industry is demanding. In essence, what the classroom teaches you to offer and what the boardroom demands of you are completely different, and the gap is getting wider every day. Graduates come to the market with general skills, or what I call generic skills, whereas the industries will have them come with specific skills that are applicable. It is no longer sufficient for you to graduate with accounting. Okay, you may be an accountant that will struggle for the rest of your life if you don't have specific skill sets that relate to accounting. For instance, today's employers would rather have you have skills like accounting softwares like Sage and what have you. You must master them and show a level of proficiency in them. Gone are those days when all you had to do was just finish from school and show them your certificate. What the schools in Nigeria, as we have them today, are teaching us are not sufficient to seek a place or create a space for yourself in the scheme of things, in the global scheme of things, in the world of work that we have today. And so we have accountants who are stranded, we have engineers who are stranded, we have lawyers and doctors who can't actually make a headway with what they have learned in school. The day I saw a broke doctor, I was lamenting. The day I saw a broke engineer, I was like, what is happening? Because back then, parents would want you to become one of these professions. I have no bias against any profession. I'm only saying that the school system, as we have it in Nigeria now, is not preparing you in any way for what is to come. Back then at independence or the pre-independence days, when the likes of the late Sage, Obafemi Awolowo, and the Zeeks of this world were in school, the mandate for them was to come and fill voids that would be left by the exit of the colonial masters. That was when you could just finish from the secondary school or university as it's were today and get employed right tomorrow with an official car waiting for you and probably official residence and a lot of allowances to help you be able to do the job. But hey, the times have changed. Nigeria has kept on churning out graduates every year in thousands, in hundreds of thousands, and these are adding to the already overclogged, overflooded, oversaturated labor market that some want to call favor market. The idea is that what you have studied in school, if you don't put in any extra effort, will not be sufficient to get you a space in the scheme of things as we have it today. The second reason it is becoming increasingly difficult to get a job today is the automation of recruitment. Back then in the 80s, in the early 90s, in the late 90s, and even in the early 2000s, it was a bit easier for you to get a job because when an advertiser talks about or brings to the public the vacancies that are available within its own domain, all you have to do is go there and submit your letter physically, but not any longer. With the rise of the easy apply on platforms like LinkedIn, getting people to apply for jobs has become automated, and so at just the click of a button, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of applicants will apply for the same job, whether they are qualified or not. Now, what happens is that when recruiters have thousands of applications facing them on a daily basis, then they have to devise means of weeding out a lot of them, and so chances are that your letter of application may not even get seen before it is discarded by some kind of algorithm that is weeding out and pulling down letters of application, even if you are the best qualified for the job. This automation of recruitment has been a major problem, and there's also ghost posting of jobs. You see jobs everywhere. Companies just want to look good sometimes, no matter how bad that appears or how crazy you think it appears, and so they post job openings that are not really existing just so that they can look good on the pages of social media, and it's becoming a problem. So you keep applying, you send in the first one, second one, and so on and so forth, and nobody is calling you back for interviews. So the automation of recruitment is becoming one of the reasons it's getting harder to get a job these days, especially in 2024. The third reason it is getting difficult every day to get a job is the rise of artificial intelligence that we call AI. Yes, AI is replacing a lot of the manual efforts that people were putting in. As a matter of fact, companies have learned that it pays more in a contest to invest in artificial intelligence than even to bring in human beings, because AI does not have any emotion, it does not go on leave, it does not go on sick leave, it does not complain about headache and so on and so forth. As long as you can automate the process, yes, AI can take care of it. And everybody feels threatened. Writers, designers, cinematographers, voiceover artists, and so on and so forth. Everything that human beings were once custodians of, they were gatekeepers of, has become open to AI. And scientists are not stopping. They are making advancements every day. Imagine you being able to talk to Meta AI, for instance, and say, imagine a dog riding a car, and you will see picture of a dog riding a car. That is crazy, and that is what is taking your job. If people will argue that, okay, AI is not actually taking your job, it is actually giving it to someone else who has AI skills. But the truth is that how many people at this point in time are AI compatible? How many of them have a deep understanding of how to apply AI to solve human problems, to solve companies' problems, and so on and so forth? And as long as you have that deficiency in you, you are bound not to find that job that you're looking for. You have to do so much more. So the rise of AI is one of the factors that is ensuring that getting jobs is becoming harder every day. And if you are in Nigeria, the number 4 reason it is becoming difficult to get your kind of job, your desired job, is the economy of Nigeria, which is in shambles. Speaking in a context, we all know what is happening. The naira is losing value every day. It is getting weaker and weaker. There is no more subsidy. So we learned to get a liter of petrol, you have to spend over 1,000 naira. Companies, multinationals, they are leaving the country in numbers because it is no longer economical for them to produce here. Companies that were either to producing their commodities right here on the soil of Nigeria are leaving because the economies of scale are no longer on their side. So they want to move to cheaper countries or countries that have more stable economic climate. This has 2 implications. One, the number of people, the thousands of people that were employed by these companies will just lose their job, and they are doing that in numbers. 2, there is no more window, no more possibility of bringing in new breeds into the companies because the companies are now non-existent. And so because of the continuous weakening of the economy of Nigeria, it is becoming increasingly difficult for you, a new graduate, or you who want to change job, to get that particular job. So these are 4 factors that are making it very hard for you to get a job in Nigeria in 2024. But I spoke earlier that the good news is that there are 4 leverages you can latch onto that can actually make a difference. Hey, let nobody deceive you. There is no hard and fast rule about how to get your desired job. You keep trying, but there are things you can do, right? If you reshuffle some variables, you may still be able to make a headway where others are stranded. After all, when they say there is casting down, some will say there is lifting up. So what are those 4 leverages that can improve your chances of finding your desired job? I'll tell you right after this. The first leverage is what I call the leverage of foresight, and in this regard, our parents have a role to play. If you look at an average parent in Nigeria, everybody wants his son to become a lawyer. Everybody wants his daughter to become a doctor. Everybody wants his daughter or son to become an accountant. We are actually choosing careers for our children based on ego, not based on future relevance, and that is so shameful. We have to stop that. I have nothing against doctors. I have nothing against engineers, lawyers, or accountants. All I am saying is that career choice and career planning should be based on what is needed in the future where your children will be playing, not what you think is right for you. Everybody just wants to brag that, I am mama lawyer, oh, I am baba doctor. No, it doesn't work that way. It's about the future of your child and its relevance in the scheme of things in the future. So you have to sit down and come down from that high horse. Stop deciding careers based on ego, decide careers based on relevance. It is called the leverage of foresight, the way I see it. Then the second leverage is the leverage of technology. Hey, you can never bet against technology. You will lose the game. It's a lost game right before it starts. So whatever you study, I don't care what you study today, you must have a tech skill to back it up. And the good thing is that there is nothing you are studying today that does not have a tech dimension to it. So your assignment, when you back your first degree or your second degree, is to ask yourself, what is the tech dimension to this degree that I have, and go for that. Don't just study vertically, study horizontally. Okay, look at what tech skills you can add to what you have to make you stay relevant in today's world of work. Don't forget that I mentioned the skill gap, that what the industry requires is oftentimes today not what the school taught you. So when you come to the marketplace with your so-called generic skill, you now have to look at tech skills to back it up. Otherwise, you will be stranded in the scheme of things. People are still getting employed, that's the truth, but not just anybody. Where your mates are getting stranded, some are actually getting employed because they have gone out of the four walls of the classroom to learn tech skills, critical ones that will make them relevant in the scheme of things. And that is what you should do. Leverage on technology, bet on it, and you really cannot lose the game 100%, I guarantee you. The third leverage is the leverage of connections or relationships. I mentioned earlier that part of the problem is that there is automation of recruitment. But what if you start making connections? What if you start establishing friendship with those that are like potential employers before you need them? Attend industry seminars and conferences. Talk to people before you need them. But don't go there empty-handed. Don't go to seminars and be begging for a job. No, go there from the point of strength. You have skills, you have learned, you have things you can do. Show them you can do it. Volunteer. Take part in group discussions. Let them be able to see that you really can do this. And if you miss anything, do not miss their emails or their phone numbers, because at some point you will still reach out to them and sustain that relationship. If you learn how to build this contact and this friendship before you need them, trust me, it can actually come in handy for you when the time comes, because people most of the time will look at who they know personally that can get the job done before they start trusting invites or letters of application from those outside, those on the internet, who they really can't verify the veracity of their claim. So it is very important there, right? Do that. And the last leverage I will talk about is the leverage of social media. Social media was not created just for you to post pictures. Now, there is nothing wrong in posting pictures, but if your pictures are not adding to your advancement, you're just wasting a vital resource that you could use. On the 29th of November 2022, I was seated at home when I got a message on my LinkedIn profile. So the person was on my wall and he saw what I put on my banner image there. I put thought leader, and he got curious. He was looking through what I had done on LinkedIn, the number of articles that I had actually written, the number of videos I've actually shared there, and all of a sudden he got interested in me. He sent me a DM and I read, "Hey Ayo, I saw that this and that, I saw that there's a badge open to work. What kind of work are you really open to? Is it a full-time employment or a part-time employment? Whatever the case is, let's talk." I saw it and I responded, "Hey, thank you very much. I will be glad to do this and blah, 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 blah. I'm open to either of them, but then it depends on whether it falls within the area of my strength." That was November 29, 2022. By December 1st that same year, I was already managing a whole company that he owns. He was based in Canada, and I guess he's still based in Canada, and he wanted somebody here to help him organize his resources, and I was in charge of that. Now imagine if I was much more intentional on so many other platforms. Imagine you as an applicant that you can actually showcase what you can do on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and what have you. It is an infinite world of opportunity. Before this particular time in history, you will need to spend money to broadcast your ideas to the world. But now, at the push of a button, you can broadcast your ideas right to the world. Instagram Live, YouTube Live, and so on and so forth. Even Facebook Live. What are you doing, guys? Please wake up. Wake up. Do not just be a consumer of content on social media. Be a creator of content. Find a skill that you can deliver and show it on social media. People will set you out in time. And when the right employers, or when potential employers find you out and they know that you can do it. Even your CV will not be needed because they would have seen you prove it on social media that yes, you can do this. So like I said earlier, nobody can tell you that there is a surefire formula for getting your desired job. But if you can pay attention to these 4 leverages that I mentioned, maybe you will be able to change your story, and we'll come back here and share testimonies of how you were once jobless and now you have a job. And that is the content today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next content. And if you are yet to subscribe, please do now and help me grow. Bye bye for now.